Good evening, y'all. Happy Valentine's Day from Grandma. Granny Sharp. Let me turn off the light in the back. It's like a window. Open up in the sun.
Yeah, I don't want to. I told everybody that you're my mom, so they know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they'll see me in there too, going back and forth.
Okay.
Hi, Sissy. It's Sissy.
Hi, Sissy.
This is my mom, Sissy, so enjoy her.
I have to use my bifocals.
I'm Wendy Angelo, so y'all know who I am.
Okay. Thank you.
Enjoy
I'll start
her,
out
everybody.
by reading to one person.
I'm here too.
Okay. Greetings for another Valentine's Day. It won't last much longer.
We didn't get no chocolates,
the night
no
will soon-
cards. We didn't get no flowers. We didn't get nothing.
I don't need anything to be happy. I have my happiness. It's not in chocolates and cookies and stuff, but it's nice.
We
if
don't
you
want to
have it.
get too chubby, right, Mom?
I don't have to worry about that. Not with Relive, the product I take. Okay, I'll start out singing you all a song.
But I'm going in the room because
I would say so. I wish I knew the tune to all of these still. If you have a talent of playing the piano or a guitar, an instrument, musical instrument, don't give it up. I mean it, do not give it up. That will be a misfortune to your own life. Let's see what we can find to start. I got a new book at least. I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk close to thee, close to thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus, this my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Just a walk, closer walk, close to thee. When my feeble life is o'er, time for me will be no more. Guide me to that peaceful shore. Let me walk close to thee, close to thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. I'll be satisfied with thee. Just a walk, closer walk, close to thee. Now I'm going to start out with a story from a magazine called Angels on Earth. Reminds me of my granddaughter in a way right now. She's having trouble with school because we went through a tornado in 2012, 5 years ago. We had to move around. We moved across the state. Then we left to go to Texas. And on our way down to Texas, I think I told you all, my son as a military wounded warrior died. So I ended up staying down there 5.5 months to comfort his brother who was in Afghanistan with him. The title of this is New Year's Promise. It's past New Year's, but it's never past
You said that
stories.
already last night about Kelly.
Everybody wasn't there, don't worry.
Okay, well, last night.
New Year's Promise by Rachel Lohmeyer, Elliott City, Maryland. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. The strains of the Christmas carol echoed down the hallway at the parochial school where I teach. It was the last day before vacation, and the students were gathering to sing. I could hear them from my empty classroom as I surveyed the presents piled high on my desk. Somehow I didn't feel as I could count myself as one of the faithful. For the last few months, I'd been praying and praying for my youngest daughter, 8-year-old Ashley, and I was beginning to fear my prayers would never be answered. I gazed at Ashley's picture on my desk, her brown eyes dancing, pigtails framing her face, freckles sprinkled across her nose. She wore a delightful smile. How I wished that I saw more of that smile lately. Instead, I was becoming used to her look of bewilderment and frustration as we struggled over her homework night after night. There was a knock. I glanced up to see Carrie, one of my 5th graders, standing at my door. "Mrs. Lohmeyer, can I come in?" she asked. "If you're busy, I can come back later. There's nothing here that can't be waiting. Come on in." Carrie was a favorite of mine. She was a quick learner, a joy to have in the classroom. Recently, her father had taken a job in Texas, commuting home from Maryland on weekends. I knew that was hard on her, and I expected she wanted to talk about it. Instead, with all of her earnestness of a 10-year-old, she said, I have to explain about my present." My desk was covered with plates of cookies, jars of homemade preserves, and small boxes wrapped in red and green. "Which one, Carrie?" I asked. I hadn't had time to open them yet. "It's not here," she said. "My mom ordered it from a catalog, and they promised it would be here in time, but it didn't. And I didn't want you to think I didn't get you anything. It all came out in one breath. You know, I don't need a present. You're a wonderful student, and that's enough. But my gift is very special, Mrs. Lohmeyer, and I wanted to give it to you before Christmas." I could see her disappointment. "Yours will be on my desk first of the new year when we come back into vacation, okay?" I promised. With that, she gave me a quick smile and waved goodbye as she rushed out down the hall to the singing. Ashley was probably down there too, joining in the chorus. She attended the school where I taught. Initially, that had not been a problem. I loved the easy camaraderie of the kids, the closeness of the teachers, the curriculum that incorporated religious instruction. I could pass Ashley in the hall and be confident of all that she was learning. But in 3rd grade, she was diagnosed with dyslexia. By 4th grade, when the workload increased, everything she did became a struggle. My husband Mike and I had to hire a tutor 3 nights a week to help her get by. But when the tutor wasn't there, I filled in, trying not to lose my own patience. By now, both her teachers and I knew that she needed a different school, where her learning disabilities could be better addressed. But finding the right school and worrying about getting her in and how we were going to pay for it had become a whole new trial. I sighed as I put my gifts in a big shopping bag to take home. "Lord," I prayed, "I have a lot of burdens, and you're going to have to help me with it right now. I'm a teacher, but I can't teach my daughter the way that she needs to be taught. Give her a place where she can grow." When the dismissal bell rang, I took my presents and went to the car. That afternoon at home, Ashley rushed up to me with a folder from her backpack. "Mommy, we have homework to do on vacation." I tried not to groan. I had counted on Christmas break to be a respite from the nightly homework. We both needed it. "What have you got, baby?" "It's fun stuff, Mommy," she said. "All I have to do is look up some Bible verses and draw pictures of each one of what it means to me." Thank goodness for Ashley's teacher. Whenever there was a project that required a lot of writing, she found a way that Ashley could do it by drawing pictures. "Okay, set yourself up on the table in the family room and get me out the Bible. We'll do the first one right now. I'll be back in a jiffy." I went into the kitchen, put some water on to boil for spaghetti, and returned to Ashley. Together we looked up the first quote her teacher had assigned, Luke 1:37. It was in the story of the angel Gabriel telling Mary that she would have a son. The Annunciation, when Mary wonders how that she can have a child when she doesn't even have a husband, the angel replies, "With God nothing will be impossible." As Ashley slowly repeated each verse, "With God nothing will be impossible," I found myself thinking of that frightened young woman 2,000 years ago who could bear the weight of history. What would have happened if she hadn't trusted the archangel's words? How would things have turned out? Ashley dug into her box of colored pencils to sketch the angel, reassuring the young woman of Nazareth. She started drawing, her gaze intently following her line of the pencil. "That's right," I thought to myself. "With God, nothing is impossible. Not teaching a dyslexia 4th grader how to read and write, not finding the right school for her, not finding the money to pay for it. With God, nothing is impossible." That would be my New Year's wish. The vacation passed quickly. Ashley never forgot her homework. Almost every day she took out a sheet of paper and worked on a Bible quote. And I worked, believing without a doubt that everything first, with God, nothing is impossible. It was beginning to sink in, and I felt my burdens lifting. By the time she returned to school, Ashley had all of her drawings finished. But that morning, as we drove back, I could tell that she was anxious. So was I. Perhaps I had expected too much of God. As we walked from the car, Ashley grabbed my hand. "Hi, Mrs. Lohmeyer," someone called on their way down the hall. The smells of books and chalk mingled with the sound of children laughing. Ashley slowed down as we reached her classroom. I turned to give her a goodbye hug. She pulled me down and put her arms around my neck. "It will be okay, baby," I whispered to her ear. "The day that will go by fast, and when school is over, we will go for a treat." She let me go, but tears filled her brown eyes. I fought off tears of my own as I watched her walk to her desk. I wasn't really thinking of my students when I entered the classroom. "Mrs. Lohmeyer?" Carrie came up, rushing to me. It's here. Your present finally arrived." She handed me a small package. "Thank you, Carrie," I said. "I will open it during my break." "Open it now," she said, her cheeks flushed. "Please." Unable to resist her enthusiasm, I put my books down, sat in the chair, and undid the curly ribbon. "My first gift of the new year," I said, repeating my promise. As I tore the paper, I prepared in my mind all the wonderful things I would say about this gift, regardless of what it was. But when the wrapping was gone, and I held the notebook in my hands, I was speechless. Carrie studied me, worried. "Miss Lohmeyer, what's wrong? Don't you like it?" "Yes," I managed to say, giving her a huge hug. "I love it." "It has your name on every single page," Carrie said. And above my name, as though the angel were uttering it directly to me, were the words, "With God, all things are possible." They were, they had been, they were would forever be. "How did you know that was my favorite Bible verse, Carrie?" Carrie grinned, finally convinced the notepad was indeed the perfect present. 2 months later, I received a phone call from the private school we'd been looking at for Ashley. The principal said that she would love to have her as a student the following year, and she was being enrolled there ever since. She's blossoming with the help of first-grade teachers and an excellent program. Sometimes I admit there are rough patches, and Mike and I still worry about how we can afford everything. But then I remember nothing is impossible. Really nothing. It's a promise God has kept for 2,000 years. Now, isn't that a wonderful story? I'm going to tell you a little one myself. I'd totally forgotten about this type of thing. 37 years ago, this coming Sunday, I had a daughter going to my homeschooling class with her 3 brothers. They were 5 and a half, first grader, no kindergarten, we skipped that. The next one going into the 5th grade from public school, and the next one going into the 7th grade from public school. We all sat down for a number of days, and my daughter was sitting there with us, but her dad would not allow her to work with the boys, although she was ready, very eager, very ready to start school at 3 and a half. And I tried to console her and tell her it's okay, just sit and watch your brothers do schooling. So we had the old-time desk that would fold down. So my daughter sat on the front of the desk, turned around and put her arms on her chin, and watched her 5-and-a-half-year-old brother start school. He read quickly. He wanted to get to book number 5, which is the Christian materials. He wanted to get to book number 5 so he could read all about Jesus. So he was doing his lessons, enjoying learning how to read, and going up to the blackboard and doing the alphabet. And his brothers would help him with the alphabet. We would call it out, and then he would go up, and if he needed help, they would help him. But he rarely needed any help. He usually managed to do everything okay for his age because he was ready. And the reason he was excited was because out of 5 books, the last reading book was the stories about Jesus. The whole book was about Jesus. So by the time he got to the 5th book, and believe it or not, it took him, I believe, a little over 2 weeks to get into that book. He was eager to learn. He was doing circles around his brother who was in the 5th grade, and that made him more eager to learn too. It reminds me of this story. With God, all things are possible. So one day, it was time for my son's first math test, the 5-and-a-half-year-old. And he sat there, and I said, now remember, Matthew, you cannot ask me any of the answers. Everything you do on a test is your work, and we will check it afterwards, but don't ask any of the answers. So about 5 minutes went by, and he looked up at me, and he said, Mom, what's 4 plus 3? And immediately, I said, remember, Matthew, I can't tell you. It's a test. And immediately, his sister yelled the answer, 7. A few minutes later, time went by again, and he looked up and he said, Mom, what's 6 plus 3? And before I could say anything, his sister said, 9. And he said, I didn't ask you, I asked Mommy. So her older brother took her to the blackboard and said, come on up here, let's start teaching you. Even though her dad said she couldn't be taught at 3 1/2. I had Montessori training in Florida when my first son was born, and I found out that any child can learn any age if they are ready and willing. It's like the story says, with God, anything's impossible. I mean, possible, pardon me, very possible. And I begged and begged and begged her dad to let her go into schooling with the boys, but he wouldn't do it. She would have been probably up with her 5 1/2-year-old brother, if not ahead of him. So just remember, keep in mind, whatever stage you are in your life, whatever you're trying to do, with God, everything is impossible. I mean, possible. Pardon me for saying that. I said that twice. No, everything is possible. With God, anything is possible. And that's what I'm keeping in mind myself, because I'm thinking right now, and what some things I'm teaching you all, reading short things about how to live your dream. Right now, I'm without God, nothing that I believe He's telling me to do and directing me to do would be possible. Having this land that I live on would not have been possible if I didn't believe and listen to Him. So that's my beginning for today. Let me read you all. Hello, Mini Speeder. So you're new for tonight. I haven't heard you before. Zelda 214, glad to have you. Amanda 21, glad to have you. 3D Diana Morphy, glad to have you. You must love eagles. I do too. I love birds. Oh, I love birds. Welcome, daughter Wendy. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you again. Hi, Americo's 366. I'm glad to have you. So now we know that everybody who is coming in for tonight. Oh, hi, Wally. Thank you for coming on. If anyone else decides to drop in, feel welcome to. We'll go directly into living your dream. I'm going to only be in until about 9, 8:45 or 9, probably 9. That's about the same time have been on last night, because I've got some things I've got to do tonight before I retire. So I'll be ready for tomorrow. Create your goal pictures. Now remember, when you have an idea of something you want to do, put the picture up, if you can, a similar picture. You won't be able to put up the exact picture that's going to be your picture. But put a picture up of something that you're aiming for. If you're aiming for a certain car, go find you a picture in a magazine, or get it copy on the computer, and a picture of it, and put it up on your refrigerator or a bulletin board, anywhere you want it to be. Maybe it's on the inside of your mirror as you open your mirror up in the morning, brush your teeth. Maybe you've got it somewhere. But be sure it's where you see it every single day. Then create your goal picture. Now your goal picture is in your head. You have a goal and you're thinking about what you will do. My picture, and I need to go to the land as soon as I can. A piece of land I'm going to be looking at as soon as I can get over to it. And take a picture of it and then put it on my refrigerator and start setting my goal daily to how to reach that goal that I'm looking forward to. I had an appointment yesterday there's a man who's running for a position here in this town. He's a veteran. We have a number of veterans who are running for county official. Pardon?
He said hi, love.
Who?
He said hi back.
Who said hi?
He said hi, my love. Just say hi back.
Oh, hi. Welcome back to you.
It's free. I mean,
Thank you.
It's hard to, I know, but you'll get used to it.
I'll get used to all these things. Anyway, so yesterday, I've been meaning for 2 days to contact a person who's running for what we call judge executive. He doesn't have a phone number in the newspaper, the ad that he had, so I decided I would contact him by computer, and my daughter helped me set it up. Well, I didn't realize last night when I was looking at it that he had answered it. So I made a mistake and did something wrong, so she informed me before I started tonight that I was supposed to have answered him last night, and I didn't know because I don't use the computers that often.
She's not good at it yet.
Not
so
good
I'm
at it
teaching
yet,
her,
but
y'all.
I mainly wanted to get in touch with him because he may be a part of the dream that I've got formed in my head, and I've got to keep that in mind. I've got certain people to contact. I didn't know that the first one I was contacted was wanting me to contact him back.
Augusto, somebody.
Hi, Augusto. Augusto B. Welcome. So remember to create your goal picture. If you're trying to, let's say you want to be a good swimmer.
Hi, Johnny.
Like I said last night,
I'll say hello for you.
if you want to play basketball and do it well, you can go out and stand on the basketball court and just shoot the basket without the ball. And that's an image picture. Years ago, someone told me that, and I said, oh, that's ridiculous. You can't do that. But you definitely can.
You got 6 viewers, Mom.
Oh, thank you.
So keep
Thank you very much.
They love it.
Okay, now we want to know is, take time to create a goal wish book, too, for yourself.
He said there was another school shooting today in the USA. What do you say about that?
Oh, another school shooting? What a shame. What year was it? I mean, high school, junior high, or what? Does anyone know?
I'm helping my mom, everybody. She's trying to get used
I hate to hear about school shootings.
Yeah.
We've just got to be more
I hate it
secure.
too.
When I was living down in Texas for a while with my son, 5.5 months, I would go and eat lunch with him sometimes at the cafeteria in the school where he worked.
How many got killed? Or you can ask my mom.
Do you know how many got killed? Hopefully no one did, but did anybody get killed? I hope not. I hate to even think if they're injured. But anyway, I went into the school one day to ask him what time he wanted to eat. And I sat down in the principal's office as you entered in. And the secretary was standing there. And all of a sudden she said, oh no. I said,
Which high school was it? He's talking to you, Mom.
oh, where?
Can you read it? You don't have to look that close to it.
Yes, I do, Wendy. I've got bifocals.
Okay.
Which one is it at? Down here at the bottom? YouNow?
Yeah, he asks. 17 Dan, I think it was high school.
Oh,
Which
no.
high school?
I was thinking it was almost that many.
I'm helping my mom, everybody.
I was thinking it was almost that many the last time, wasn't it? About
I don't know how many.
12 to 17 the last time?
Which area? There's like a whole bunch of them lately.
Do you know what state it's in? Well, we just need to, there's a book I read, probably, well, it's been
That's why I'm scared to go out, everybody.
36 years ago, I read a book, and it said that at some point, sometime in our country, there's going to be so much crime, and these killings in high school is not
horrible.
good. So much crime that we're going to have to bring our military out, especially the National Guard,
I talked to the hand.
because we won't have enough
I'll
policemen.
say hi for him.
We've had about 3 or 4 policemen killed in Kentucky in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we just need to pray for our people who are protecting us, the military and the police. We need to pray for them daily and pray for the children as they go to school.
Welcome.
Hello to my
What in
hand.
the crap is that noise?
Wendy, stop that.
What was that noise?
It's a dog knocking the dog pen off, trying to get inside the fence on the porch. My dogs are trying. Her dogs, not mine. If I had my way, there'd be no dogs. But they're trying. The big one we've got, a coonhound's trying to jump the fence again and come and knock on the door. He does it sometimes. I mean, really knocks. Takes his claws and knocks on the door and tells us he wants some more food. He eats about 2 or 3 times as much as the other two. if we'd let him.
Well, it's in Florida, Broward County.
Where are you looking?
I'm reading it for you.
But where are you looking?
Right there.
Oh, Parkland, Florida. Broward. Okay. A high school shooting. Okay. Broward County.
I gotta go check
Oh,
out
that's
there.
a shame.
It might be a crazy possum.
No, if it is, just don't open the gate, please. Don't unfasten it. Okay, another way to create a visual picture
What do you think you're doing? Yeah.
is to create a picture or a visual presentation for every goal you have. Financial, career, recreational, or new skills. Index cards are very good. Every day, look at your cards, things you've written down about your goal. List about 30 to 40 goals that you're currently working on. Wow, I've only got about 2. That's going to be enough work on my part to just do these 2. They're centered around working with military.
He's trying to get in the trash again.
And
I told him bad dog.
in the, I hope not. I'm not going to pick it up tomorrow. If it happens, it'll be somebody else. Use your affirmatives to support your visualization. An affirmative is a statement that evokes not only a picture, but the experience of already having what you want. Here's an example. I'm proudly driving my new black BMW down Pacific Coast Highway. Repeat that several times a day. Keep focused on your goal, and it strengthens your motivation and programs your subconscious mind to work toward it. So every day when I wake up, I need to think, I'm going to have this piece of land that my granddaughter and I have driven by and we've talked about. I'm going to take her over there and get a picture of it. I'm going to visualize who is going to live there. It'll be similar people that lived on our land before in our house until the tornado hit. And we're going to visualize that whatever piece of land we get, but that's the one my goal is set on. It has a 4-stall barn because she and I want to get her a horse. I would love to have one myself, but I don't think my 72-year-old body would take a galloping horse like it did when I was younger. So I will just watch her and enjoy her having her own horse. That's our goal. We're both striving to reach that goal together. Now let's see what else it says next. Always remember, make your statement, your goal, a positive statement. You don't want to put down, I'm not afraid of the job interview. You want to put down, I'm calmly answering every question of my job interview with confidence. Well, we're speaking as though I'm speaking of a goal that does not require anything particularly that I have to stand up and show this is my credentials of this or that. Well, yes, to a degree I will. But to get the land, my main goal is going to have to be, I believe that it can happen. I know it can happen. On just me alone, I don't have the money. It's going to have to be like this land, this 25 acres that I bought when I moved back to my home county from an hour and a half away from here. It's going to have to be like it was when God spoke to me at 3:30 in the morning, woke me up at 3:30 in the morning and said, go back to your home county. And I just lay there wide awake like, what is that I'm hearing? And I heard it again. And I thought, well, I'm wide awake. There must be something to that. So I said, all right, Lord, you know I have no family there, but if you want me to go, I am willing to go. So I made that statement. I'm going to be honest with you how this dream came about. Then, the next morning I got up and I went in after breakfast. I went into the living room. I started going through all the things that I wouldn't need to take back there. So I would throw out paperwork I didn't need. And I came across a real estate book. I'd been looking for a piece of land since before my dad died in my home county. That was in '96. And here this was, 2005, when God said, go back to your home county. So I had stayed in my home county for 2 years until Dad died. Then my brother and sister moved my mother to Indiana, and I moved to Georgetown to take care of an elderly lady. That was none of my plans. A friend of mine asked me if I would go take care of her mom. So I agreed to do it. Took my daughter with me. But before we went there, we moved to 30 miles away to a college university, Morehead State University, to live with my two sons who were still in college. One of them had just gotten back from the military. He had been in the Marines for 4 years. He came back to finish college, and they ended up finishing college together about 2 years later. We stayed there. Then we went to Georgetown to take care of this elderly lady. That wasn't my goal. I didn't aim on doing that. But while I was there is when I woke up and heard, go back to your home county. So I picked up an old realtor's book. In fact, the realtor's book was not from my home county. So I threw it in the garbage can. And when it hit the garbage can, I had the thought, pick it up and look at it. And I ignored it. Kept on working. Ignored it 3 times. Finally, I picked it up and looked at it. And if you knew this place, this county, I opened up the book and it fell exactly to this piece of property. The picture of it and everything. And it said, Hunter's Lodge for sale in Morgan County.
Oh, no.
Pardon me. Okay. $75,000. And I thought, what? I can't buy that. I don't have any money for that. Okay. So I finally, I thought, well, if I'm supposed to go and look at it, I will. So I called them and I said, may I come and look at this property? And the realtor said, no. I said, why not? It's for sale, even though it isn't in your realtor's book. It's in another 2 or 3 counties away. He said, no. So I said, okay, I guess that wasn't what I heard. So I kept on working, fiddling around the room. Finally, 3 days later, I got a phone call from the realtor in my home county. I didn't know him. He said, would you like to come and look at this piece of property? The realtor told me to give you a call, and I said, yes, I will. So we went and looked at it, and it was, strangely enough, after I'd been looking for a place for a number of years, okay, for a particular purpose, I had basically given up that purpose after my dad died, and that was to work with women and children. And so I got back here and I looked at it and I thought, this is crazy. There's no such thing as a hunting lodge in this county where I live. So I looked at it and my son went with me to look at it, one of my sons from the college. And he said, Mom, I like the land, but I do not like this old 100-year-old house. So I thought, well, that's okay if you don't like it. Do you know, I went back, I did not get a phone call for 6 weeks. I finally gave up because they had said it was going to be auctioned off. I never got a phone call. Finally, I got a phone call, and I had the price in my head. The Lord said, offer this price. And I offered it, and they said, no, that's way too low. And I thought, well, I don't have any money to buy it, so that's the best I can do. So I went back to my county where I was living. I hadn't moved up here, of course, yet. Went back there, and I got a phone call about a week later, and they said, would you offer this much? And I said, no, I don't have it. So I said, I'll pray about it. So I prayed about it, and I had just a little bit of money from inheritance. And I'm a tight person. I'm not used to budgeting, and at least not at that stage in my life. So I made an offer. I prayed about it, called them and told them. They called me back 5 minutes later and said, it's yours. I barely had enough money to live on for not even a year. So I ended up getting a job working in the prison here, in the canteen, and I loved that job. But I couldn't have done it if it hadn't been for that. So I jokingly say, the Lord found the land, and my dad paid for it. Because that's basically, I guess you could say, the way it happened. And I love the 7 years we lived here until that tornado hit. There was a lot of interesting things. We met so many people. I didn't know anybody back here. They were mostly my dad's age when he died. Most of the people I knew had left the home county because there were no jobs here. And to tell you the truth, there's still no jobs here. After the tornado, it's even worse. So that's enough of my story. I don't want to bore you. See if anybody else has come on. Oh, Director Godfa, does it mean Godfather, is watching. 2 Israeli Gonzalez Romas, 05. Okay, thank you. YouNow, I think I already welcomed YouNow. And Text Tool, okay. Text Tool almost looks like a veteran for some reason. 5 Kenneth K. All right. And Honey Blossom 49. Okay, that's the one that was. She's also telling me about the shooting in Parkland, Florida, in Broward County. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's sad to think of the parents who send their kids off to school, wanting them to get a good education, and they don't come home. That's worse than being snatched out of school by social workers by a long shot. That's sad. Well, we need to pray for all of the families. Lord, we stop right now. We pause and we thank you that you have allowed us to know what's going on in this country. And Father, we pray for the families that have to suffer the loss of these children. And we pray for the siblings that have to suffer the loss. It isn't easy at all on the children themselves and the families. So Lord, we just ask you to guide and protect these counties, and protect the officials that have to be out looking for whoever did this, if they haven't already caught any of them. Just have your way, Lord. This is not your will for these things to happen. So we need your care. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, now, we've gotten a few things that we're talking about goals still. So you set up all your goals, you put them on the refrigerator, bulletin board, or whatever. You keep them in your mind. You think of yourself as achieving the goal. I mean, that means, like, okay, let's say that I have a goal that I want this piece of land that my granddaughter just has fallen in love with. We looked at a few others before that, about 3 or 4 days before we found this one in a real estate book. And we looked at some others, and a friend of ours took us out to look at them. He's a veteran. We're working with veterans. And they weren't worth it. They were far out in the county. There was nothing to offer anybody out there. It was just would have been boring and a waste of money. And we'll have to find the money anyway, by grants, special funding, or any number of ways. The Lord knows where the money is. He just expects us to obey. And I know what that's all about. When I left, I didn't obey for 2 to 3 years before I got back here. That is not fun. Okay. See if I can find another song. Hear Granny Sharp singing without a piano. Let's try it again. This book smells like mold, like it came out of a tornado. I want to tell you something that's very interesting, how God cares for you individually. When my wounded warrior's son was in the hospital, I took a lot of pictures of him in therapy, in the bed, the first day I got to the hospital. A few times after we were out with the family, after he was out of the hospital for a number of years. It's only 6 years, that's a short time. And before I left, came back here, and the tornado didn't hit until after he'd been wounded in 2008. The tornado hit 2012. So I had a number of years to be around him off and on. It wasn't very often because he was in Maryland and we weren't. So I had some pictures, and I thought a lot of them because I wanted to keep all the pictures of him through his getting in the hospital and getting out of the hospital. And you know what? God can work miracles. My son, since he was 2 years old, was a very determined young man. He is like he had his heart set on what he was going to do, and whatever trials he went through in his life, and they were very, very many trials. Horrendous, some of them. But he made it through all of them, which made it easier to make it through having a leg with a prosthesis to walk on in his left hand. He was just he took his banjo with him to Afghanistan and meant to start learning to play the banjo. And after he got his hand injured 2 months later, that's all it was, 2 months, and he was back home. He could never play the banjo after that. That was always on his heart, to learn to play a banjo. But it was, so I'm going to find another song while I'm thinking about anything else. I'll see what happens. I'm going to try to remember to sing song 12 to you before I cut off for tonight. I would love to know all these by piano tune. I know, but I have obligations tonight though too to plan my goal for tomorrow. It has to have a specific goal. The day's got a schedule already. I hear those little clicking sounds. Oh, welcome Golden State 619. I should know what that means, Golden State. Is that California? YouNow, okay. A new person's watching, okay. Welcome, new person. For Shane G. Number 4, Shane G is watching. Welcome. Another YouNow, new person, and another new person. Welcome, all of you. If you don't want to hear me sing, you better go back in the other room.
Now that YouNowers like you, they like me for a while, and then they're going crazy with me.
If you don't want me in here to hear me sing, you better go back in the other room. Sowing in the morning, sowing in the seeds of kindness, sowing in the noontide and the dewy eve, waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. I'm sorry, makes a difference with the piano with me. Bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. Sowing in the sunshine, sowing in the shadows, fearing neither clouds nor winter's chilly breeze. By and by the harvest and the labor ended, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. I should learn to play a flute or something or little, what do you call those little, I guess it's a flute the kids learn to play to plastic. All I would need would be one person to stand beside me and sing, and I could do this easily. I always admire people who can write these songs, the old time ones. Sing the wondrous love of Jesus, sing His mercy and His grace. In the, in the mansions bright and blessed, He'll prepare for us a place. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all, when we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Onward to the prize before us, soon His beauty we'll behold. Soon the pearly gates will open, we shall tread the streets of gold. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. I think a lot of it has to do I'm going to take a drink of this Kool-Aid. I think a lot of it has to do when I don't drink water. I'm supposed to drink, everybody should, 8 glasses of water a day, but I should drink about 8 glasses of bottles a day. Some glad morning, when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Hello. Hello, Woodwomb. Another YouNow. Hi. Glad to meet you. Glad to see you on the page. Waiting for God dot. Okay, God dot. Oh, I see. I can see 4 just barely. I wish I could see. Looks like maybe a grandma standing with some people. Looks like a young man sitting in the front. 4 waiting for God. I think they meant to put what?
Sorry, I have to help you.
Why?
They want to guess you.
What are you talking about?
Hold on, I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, I'm helping her. She's new. I'm helping her with the broadcasting. I'll guess you for her. There you go.
Now what do I do?
Just talk to her.
Oh, okay.
She'll talk to you and get to know you.
All right.
And say hello.
How do we do that?
Just say hello.
Oh, hello.
Welcome. Hi. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Not very well? I know it's kind of... Is it cutting out? Is it cutting out?
It's going in and out. Yeah. A little.
Is this better? Can you hear me better now?
That's
A little.
about the same.
It's about the same?
Yeah, I'm teaching my mom how to use a computer.
Oh, okay.
Looks like you've got a letter on near your lap or something. Are you ready?
It's a, it's a playbill. Do you like theater? Do you like theater?
Yeah. Book of Peter.
Oh yes, I love the Book of Peter. I love Peter in general. He went through a lot, didn't he?
Theater.
He's one of our He's one of our best examples.
Theater. I meant like musicals or plays.
It sounded like you were saying something about waiting to get to the right page.
No, I was saying like musicals or plays.
Her name is Dee. Yeah, her name's Dee.
Okay.
I'm teaching her. She's my mom. I'm teaching her how to use a computer.
Where? How can you tell? Where are you looking? Oh.
Oh. You have to call her again.
4 waiting. Oh, okay. It's a different places to try another one. There.
Oh, it went off. I don't know why.
Oh. Looks like a bad sound.
I can't call her back.
Oh, what a shame. Maybe we can't. Who's that down there in the corner? Who is that? Is that her?
Hi, Dee.
Is that her?
I'm helping my mom trying to guest people today. She's new, so I'm teaching her.
What does this corner of the chat mean? What does that mean?
What?
Where it says chat on the right-hand corner.
That's where you type your letterings and talk to them typing. Can you do that? Do you know how to do that, Mom?
Well, I don't know what I would say. Okay, you want me to try it? Move it over here to that. Right
Oh, you lost your granny for... No, don't press nothing. No,
Okay.
You lost your granny for 3 years. That's sad.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We'll pray for you.
Yeah, grandmas are special in people's lives. Grandfathers are too, but I never had a real grandfather. I had a step-grandfather. Oh, she can't hear me, can she?
Yeah, she can hear you.
Okay.
I just don't have a big speaker hooked up.
Can you all hear me now?
95 years old. Wow, at least she lived long.
Wow, that's wonderful. I had a grandmother. My dad's mother lived to be 93. I was hoping my dad would live that long, but he didn't. He just lived to be 82. Oh, at 95. Wow.
My mom's fun to be around, so enjoy Granny Sharp.
Okay, what is the yes? Is that... Wow. Oh, that's the one who had a mother live to be 95.
My mom is, how old? You're
72.
I keep forgetting her age.
I feel like I'm older with my teeth half out. They were supposed to pull them yesterday, but we didn't make it to town. We have to wait 8 more days now. I look a lot older with teeth half gone.
Mom, don't make fun of your teeth.
Well, why not? They're ugly.
Quit it.
Okay, now let's see what else we can do. I didn't finish that one. You want me to finish some more of that song?
Hi, YouNowers. I'm helping my mom with her broadcasting. She's new. I have to help her.
Do you have to move that off the chat?
No.
Okay. Just
Yeah, you can call my mom Grandma. Yeah, she don't mind.
Where are you?
She says, Granny, can I call
Sure,
you
you
Grandma?
can. Sure. That's wonderful.
She's a grandma reader. So any book you want her to read,
Of course,
she can read it.
I don't have any book. Any
Yeah.
book I've got here. Not
She loves books.
Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly
I love you.
away to a land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll
She
fly
loves you too.
away. Oh, glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I've got probably, let's see, I've got 2 grandmothers waiting in heaven, a great aunt, an aunt that never married,
She said my grandma's saying the same way you did.
my middle son, he's waiting there as of 2014, a wounded soldier, and other people that I've never met. My grandfather, my dad's father, I would love to have met him. He's waiting up there. And we have lots of people we don't know. Isn't that going to be wonderful? We'll know everybody when we get in heaven. We'll meet people that just will be wonderful.
She'll be all of y'all's grandma.
Oh, your grandma sang the same way? I hope she sang a little better than me. My mother's mother played the piano and sang too. She would come and visit us on holidays and once or twice a year otherwise and just play the piano for us. I am the last person she played the piano for. Everybody was gone one night. My dad was on a house call and Mother was gone to town and to a church meeting, and I don't know where my sister and brother were, and I asked her to play the piano and she said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to." And I said, "Well, why not?" She says, "Because my sister isn't here to play the accordion." And she was from another state. They weren't together unless we went to that state. So she sat down and played for me. And when she got through, she said, "That's the last time I'll ever play. Please don't ask me because it makes me too sad with all my family members." She had everyone in her family could play some kind of an instrument. And they would get together for reunions. It was fun. And then we would sing.
I think the computers are going out in other countries and come back in and then they go back out.
I don't know.
I think it's because it's hard to get signal out here in the hills. Hi, YouNowers. I miss YouNowers coming to my broadcasting.
Go back in it. Maybe
No,
they'll
I'm
come.
okay. They watch me paint all the beautiful Jesuses when they mom.
Oh boy, they would. They really did. I love them too.
My mom's crazy over my artwork.
But I would love to see her go back to painting tigers too. Beautiful tigers laying on the streams of water with reflections of the tigers in the water.
I like my Jesuses.
Beautiful. I like them all.
YouNowers like my Jesuses.
But I know. But some people would even come in more if you did the other ones you used to do too.
Now another person wants to draw Jesus because I do. Oh, I've been so sleepy. I can't even
It
paint
shows
on the
how much I
wall.
used to sing with my mother. I can recognize the songs because she sang them so pretty.
I gotta drink more water or dehydrate. Right, well. Oh.
That is for sure.
Phew.
Let's see what kinds of things would y'all like to talk about?
I don't think there's anybody in there.
Oh, there isn't anybody
I
here
think
anymore?
they're
Okay.
single. went in and out. There's a YouNowers though. You can talk to them.
Where? Oh, okay. We'll go over there. Go over there.
They
And
wouldn't
find them.
mind.
Go find them. I mean, turn them on.
What?
Put them on for me.
No, that you can't get them on. They're the YouNow owners.
Oh, I see what
of
you're
the
talking about.
broadcast.
Okay. Let's see.
They probably could talk to you if they would.
Well, here's
they
one.
Could.
Here's a Mike Loper live.
They'd probably like to talk to me too.
Yeah, how come I can't talk to any on this side?
Oh, because they're broadcasting, Mom. Yeah, they broadcast on that side. And then,
Well, can I listen to him broadcasting?
well, after you're done broadcasting,
Oh, okay.
I'm teaching you how to use it.
That one, I guarantee you, that guy, that one's a preacher right there, I bet.
I don't know. A few of them are okay.
Got some interesting names.
Yeah, they got some interesting YouNow names.
Oh, YouNow.
You got one too. You're a grandma.
Well, I mean the real names. Some of those are real names.
Say hi, YouNowers. There's about 10 of them on there. Oh,
Hi.
there's another one. They must like you a lot, Mom.
Okay. Thank
they
you.
They like me too.
The one at the bottom looks like an angel.
Okay, it says,
Ledge HD.
welcome. First time on YouNow.
Hey, Ledge. Welcome.
Say welcome. We're going to read stories in a minute.
Okay, what about,
teacher.
what is this down here? Right there. Is that someone I've seen?
That's just things that get in the way of the computer where you...
No, I don't think so. I can read it. It says here about you.
Hi.
About you.
Hi. Oh, Mom, don't drop your songbook. Say hi to him.
Hi, welcome aboard.
To Granny's place.
Number one
I'm trying to teach her. I'm her daughter.
on the girls show. What's the one that mean number one?
I'm Wendy Panda Angelo. I'm her daughter.
What's it mean number one on the girls
I'm
show?
trying to teach her how to use it.
What's it mean number one on the girls show?
You're number one.
Oh,
You're
really?
first. That's a good
Oh.
sign. Yeah.
Oh, first on that to
yeah,
come on
it's been-
tonight.
Yeah. Yep. They like you. Are you gonna read stories for them now? Huh?
Okay, let me find another story.
He said, "How are you?" or she.
I'm doing just fine. I just wish the day wasn't about to end. I don't like having to end my
It's a
days.
good Valentine's Day, but we didn't get no flowers because we have no bodies here.
Oh, I don't need any flowers. Y'all are better than flowers.
Yeah. We're poor as a church mouse, so you know how we are.
Oh, let me see how long this story. Oh, it's not long. Okay. Here shows a picture. I don't know if you can see it, of a dog behind a door with a table chair has fallen down. Our mysterious benefactor. This is by Jan Jakeman from Canmer, Kentucky. Wherever
Invite
that
your
is.
fans, fan her up if you want.
My parents struggled to raise 3 children in the midst of the Great Depression. Eventually, I came along too, the last of the brood. But that was later, after the hardest times were over, according to Mother. At one point, desperate for work to support his family, my father took a job at a factory quite a ways from home
I don't think we'll find Valentine.
in Fairmount, Indiana. That left Mother to care for the children alone for weeks at a stretch. When the youngest baby, Jenny, woke up coughing one morning in the winter of 1931, Mother kept her huddled up near the coal stove in the living room. The warm air will soothe her, the little one, she promised. I love coals. I love wood heat and stove heat. I gave my wood stove away last year, and I wish I had not done it. I'd love to come into a warm wood stove room. But Jenny's condition worsened as the day wore on. Her cough seemed to come from a hollow place deep down inside her chest. The nightfall, her fever got worse. The other 2 children played quietly, careful not to run or shout too loud or ask Mother too many questions. Even Bonnie, the family dog, seemed to sense something was terribly wrong. My mother feared it was pneumonia. What would she do? She didn't have the $5 it would take to see a doctor. Before going to bed, Mother and her 2 older children, Vanjie, age 10, and Johnny, 8, prayed for the baby. Mother held a warm rag of onion poultice to Jenny's chest. Please, God, touch this child and make her better. Amen. Vanjie said. Amen, said Johnny. Mother tucked them in, pulling the covers up around their worried faces, and kissed them on their forehead. Is Jenny going to be all right, Mama? Vanjie finally asked. God won't let anything bad happen to her, Mother said. He'll watch over little Jenny extra close tonight. If she feels better tomorrow, maybe she'd like to play with my best truck, Johnny offered. Mother's heart sank. Jeannie wasn't going to get well overnight. Don't alarm the children, Mother reminded herself. She forced a smile. Well, that would be fine, John. You'll be a big brother. You know you are. Now you two go to sleep. She turned off the light in their room and went back to the kitchen to settle Bonnie into her box. You better keep watch, too, you sweet little old dog, Mother told her. Then she closed the door between the kitchen and the living room in order to conserve the heat from the coal stove. Mother took the fretful baby into bed, trying to comfort her as best she could. Please, God, stay near this home tonight, she pleaded. She closed her eyes and fell into a pitiful sleep. But Jenny's guardian angel was wide awake. Near dawn, Mother woke to Bonnie's furious barking. She was scrambling around as if there was something that was out there. What is the dog up to? Mother wondered. She sat up in bed. A kitchen chair clashed to the floor. Footsteps. Someone was in the house. Mother jumped and hugged her baby tight to her chest. Then she heard the intruder running from the kitchen and across the back porch. Mother was too frightened to investigate. Instead, she hurried out of bed to jam a high chair under the knob on the closed living room door. Bonnie's persistent barking roused Vanjie and Johnny from their beds. Come in with Mama, children. We will be warmer sleeping together, she told them. They piled into her bed, careful not to disturb little Jeannie. Mother put her lips on the baby's forehead, which seemed as hot as the coal stove itself. When daytime broke, Mother put a sleeping Jenny into her crib and ventured into the kitchen, the other two youngsters trailing behind her. Bonnie immediately jumped up from her box and ran in circles around their feet. Calm down, Bonnie, Mother said, feeling a chill. The back door was standing wide open. Bonnie, sit down this instant, girl. Sit. Mother hurried to shut the door. Don't you see, Mama? Johnny said. She's trying to tell us something. Mother scrambled into the kitchen. Not a thing was missing out of place except the chair that she had heard go crashing to the floor. I guess Bonnie saw who it was, Mother thought as she bent over to upright the chair. That's when she noticed something on the floor underneath the table, a crumpled piece of paper. What's this? She reached for it and smoothed it out. My goodness, she cried, falling into the chair she had just placed upright. A $5 bill. After hurrying breakfast, Mother bundled up the children on her walk into town to see the doctor. There they learned that Jenny was perilously close to pneumonia. With medication and the doctor's care, she would soon be well again. Years later, whenever my mother told this story, someone always asked about the footsteps, the overturned chair, Bonnie barking. Who had come into the house in the wee hours of the morning? Was the money left behind on purpose? Without fail, Mother would smile and say, the Lord works in mysterious ways. It is no mystery to Bonnie, of course. She has seen it all, but since the dog couldn't talk, I figure Jeannie's guardian angel tipped over the chair just to be sure the mystery wasn't overlooked. Isn't that beautiful? She just prayed that the Lord would take care of them, and if she said she needed $5.
What are you sorry for? She loves reading to y'all. He said happy Valentine's Day. Say happy Valentine's.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Unwoob 25716.
Oh, okay. Your phone died.
Phone
okay.
died.
You want to guess her again?
Well, that's all right. You can still talk like that.
Do you want to guess her again?
Phones die easily, it seems, sometimes.
Yeah, it does. She's fun to be around. You can talk to my mom. I'm here helping her. She's getting used to the TV thing, being on TV.
Okay. You can see it. Can you read that?
Yeah.
I'll do that later. Okay.
But she's grandma to everybody, She's fun, loving,
okay,
kind, she raised me, so.
2 on the show now. Okay. Is there anything else y'all would like to talk about, or want me to read you another story, or sing? It's about time for me to call it a night.
I don't go on guess? Oh, okay. I don't much either. But I'm on YouNow too. I'm the artist. I paint and draw for everybody, so I'm teaching her now.
I'll try to put a bookmark here while I'll read this story tomorrow night. It's about a story about horses, and my granddaughter
I'm
loves
Wendy
horses.
Panda Angelo. I'm on the very top. I'm her daughter, and I'm helping her have her own TV show on here.
Look at this, look.
Mom, do you know Irene Goodnight, Irene? Song Goodnight, Irene Goodnight?
Oh, Irene Goodnight. No, the song Irene Goodnight. You know what? Is that a country western song?
I don't really know.
I think you know what? My dad was an old time doctor, and sometimes he had his office in our home, so he had to come upstairs at between office visits sometimes and go back down to come up to eat and get a lunch or something. And I remember once hearing him go back in his room and he would be singing that. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Is that the right one?
I don't really know.
Well, I know you don't know. It's an old song. You weren't even born when that song was.
Well, you can learn it.
What did she answer? Oh, my grandma sang. I bet that was it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
She'll learn to sing more. I'll get her songs on the computer, and then she'll come back and sing them for you. How about that?
There was 2 or 3 other songs I remember he sang. I didn't even know my dad could sing until I heard him sing like that.
Irene, write it down.
It was funny.
I don't have no pen. Oh, here.
Oh, that won't matter. Why are you
No,
going
you need to learn to sing it.
the whole song?
Yeah. He said, Grandma, I love you.
Okay, thank you.
We love you too.
That's one of the things that we need to do is love everybody. They love
fan her up if you want to see her again.
like
you know.
God does. I'll put this up here where I can remember it for tomorrow. This book, so I don't get lost having to go look for other things.
She said, I'm a girl. Okay.
Okay.
I'm Wendy Panda Angelo. I'm on the very top, and I'm helping my mom.
Do you know any of the other songs your grandma sang? That must have been back in like I think, probably, let's see, we moved out in the country in 1955, so it was back in the 50s and 60s, I guess.
Irene, what? I'll write it down.
Good night, Irene.
Okay.
What you hold your breath on the back
No,
of that?
no.
Okay.
I can't. You'll learn to sing it.
I have to you have to get it off the computer, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that. Well, I probably could remember the tune after all.
She
those
sings
years.
well, really well, you know.
With music better, but that's beside the
Only
point.
Christian music. She doesn't sing with the other singers that much.
No, there's others, but not that much because I don't have any wording of anything. If I could think of some, I would.
But she loves to talk, so, you know, y'all can talk to her anytime. Right, Mom? She sings the old hymn songs in church, mainly. The old time stuff. You can see me on the very top. I'm right there.
Let me see if I can
yeah.
do this simple one.
Her name was Helen. Oh, that's a cute name.
That's Helen was the name of my dad's oldest sister. I love that name.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Not my father, not my mother,
You've been
but
getting
it's
great
me,
calls
oh
lately, Mom.
Lord, standing in the
Hello?
need of prayer. Not my sister
gonna
nor
say
my
anything?
brother, but it's me,
Or are you
oh
just going to
Lord,
ring in the house and not say
standing in the need of prayer. Hang up. Standing,
Okay, Hacker. Go somewhere
standing,
else.
standing in the need
below.
of prayer, oh Lordy, standing, standing.
I told him to get lost.
Standing in the need of prayer. Not the prophet, not the preacher, but it's me, oh Lord.
We had a
Standing
great
in
call,
the need
sorry,
of
y'all.
prayer. We don't know that it was.
Yes, it was.
Not the deacon nor the teacher, but it's me, oh Lord.
He said go get a
Standing in
whistle
the
and blow
need
it.
of
I might
prayer.
next. I'll scare the crate caller away.
Oh. Who said that? Oh.
The guy.
Oh, do you want to know something? This is no joke.
We've been having them lately.
Well, Wendy, I haven't. You do. When my older boys were like 8 months old, or well, about a year old and 3 years old, I lived in Florida, and I started getting crank calls.
It's probably Michael Atkins. That's who I'm thinking it is.
Don't say anything. Just pick it up and then put it down.
Hello?
Might be Spencer.
Hello?
Pay it down right now.
Michael Atkins, if you call here again, you know what I'm going to do. I'll show
Wendy.
you what I showed you before. So quit calling my mom's house. Do you understand?
Wendy, put the phone down, please. That's all right. Okay. Anyway, so I got crank calls, and it just happened at that time. I was working for the police station, and nobody knew it. And so I called my lieutenant and told him what happened. He said, do you by any chance have some?
There
Don't
they go
answer
again.
it. Leave it. Pick it up and put it down. Don't
Have they
answer
been doing
it.
this to you lately?
No, Wendy, not at all. So
Oh,
anyway, he said, do you have by any chance have some glass salt and pepper shakers that are indented a little bit, like scratched like things? I forget what you call it. Cut glass. That's what it is. Cut glass. And I said, yes, I sure do.
What is this?
He said, why? I said, why? He said, take them, and when the phone rings again, quietly lay the receiver
okay.
down on down on the table, and scrape those things together real fast.
Who is this?
And he said, I guarantee you'll never get another call. And you know what? I didn't.
Oh, okay. We had a crate caller a while ago. We didn't know who it was that was trying to call us.
If I can call him back, I will in a few minutes.
It
Not
was a cousin, Mom.
John Alec?
Sorry about that.
Cousin.
We didn't know who it was.
Anyway. Not the people who are shouting, but it's me, oh Lord.
I couldn't hear you. What?
Standing in the need of prayer. Not the members I am doubting, but it's me, oh Lord. Standing in the need of
Yeah,
prayer.
it does that sometimes here.
Not my neighbor nor the stranger, but it's me, oh Lord.
My mom.
Standing in
Mom
the
is on
need
TV
of
right now. She's
prayer.
broadcasting. Yeah, she's on TV. You want to see? You'll have to get on. You'll have to get on YouNow.
No, who is it, Wendy?
It's John.
Oh, John Alec? Oh, come and talk to him. That's my grandson. That's not my cousin. That's my grandson.
No, it's him.
John Alec.
I can't remember everybody's name. I'm
Stephanie's
sorry.
son?
Stephanie. Yes.
It's John Alec and Stephanie. Okay.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Tell him
I
I'll call
forgot
back.
everybody's names.
Tell him I'll call back. And is it going to be too late in 10 minutes to call John?
No, just tell them you'll be right back, and you can talk to them. They can hear you.
Okay, you can talk. Okay, to them. My daughter will take over for a minute.
No, you can stay on. Mom's going to talk to you in a minute. Hold on. I love y'all. I'm sorry about that while ago. We didn't know who it was. It was hanging up by itself. I didn't know who it was. Here, Mom.
Hi, Stephanie. Hey, y'all going out to dinner for Valentine's Day?
I didn't know who it was. It was somebody crate calling.
We're talking about that here.
Oh, goodness.
Sounds like he had a
She'll be back. We thought it was a crank caller. I swear I thought it was Michael.
I think it's a correct call.
Oh, goodness.
I was just
We didn't know who it was. Oh, gosh. Because we hadn't had them in a long time.
I enjoyed it, and I was waiting. I wasn't even thinking about being so late. So I guess he has to get up and go to school in the morning. Did you all go out to eat? You said?
What part of FLA? I don't understand what you're saying. Hold on.
Sad. You went to see a sad movie?
Yeah. Hi, Nick. It's my mom's broadcast.
Oh.
She's on the
We can
phone
call
right
you when
now.
they call you back on Saturday.
Can you explain to me what you mean?
Oh, that sounds like my granddaughters. They don't either.
I'm just helping her, you know. I'll be right back. She'll be back on in a minute.
You sound like your tongue is a bit like a robin. So what have you been doing today?
I swear I thought that was a crank caller. It was
That
funny.
pretty fun. Did you have one at school? A party at school?
Oh, goodness. They're calling from a computer. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. just sitting in our little cabin, mostly dark.
And it's
We got
hot.
lights
You have the
on
heat
one
on.
side of the
It's
wall.
not cold. That was embarrassing. I wish they called it the right way
Wendy,
instead.
please stop. I can't understand
All
you
right.
while he's talking to me back there. Okay, now Wendy's trying to talk to me because of the people on the computer.
No. No.
Okay. Well, do you like, or you don't like going to school, so what do you do when you're at school then? Just doing your best, doing
You're on air, remember?
Yes, I bet. That's the way it goes. That's the only way we can learn.
Hey, Rainer H. How are you doing?
Right.
My mom will be back in a minute. She's on the phone talking to
Okay.
someone.
What time do you usually go to bed? Right. It's night. Okay, you haven't got very long, do you? Just about 15 minutes. Do you already brushed your teeth and got ready? No. Oh, we just got. It's been raining here. We got 3 dogs too many. Y'all want me to send you some dogs?
Mom, I just made my dog some rice
I
and
don't
stuff.
like dogs. I like the cat better. The cat keeps away mice. Except the dogs did get some possums last night, though. 2 baby snakes, you say? Oh, guinea pigs. I never liked guinea pigs because they smell so much. No. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of hamsters. They smell, don't they? Oh, there's a lot of difference in guinea pigs, yeah. My sister got a guinea pig when she was about 4 years old, and she got one for her birthday. And they had a birthday party at the house, and they were playing in the bedroom, and we were all talking with the adults who came because they always came with their kids too. And we were all talking, and my sister and the little boy.
She'll be back in a minute,
went into
y'all.
the bedroom, and
She's on a
he
break.
started taking the guinea pig
But
and
she'll be
sitting
back
on
in a
the
minute.
floor
She's
for
talking on the
so
phone.
before the party was over, the guinea pig was gone. That was sad. So we didn't get any more after that for a while. Because you never. Right, you have to really be nice to little pets, don't you? It was off so from the bed, yeah. I like rabbits are my favorite things. You got a bird too?
Welcome,
Oh,
little
lizards.
powerful
Wow.
doggo. My mom will be back in a
Mama's been
minute.
begging me to buy her some lizards, but I don't want lizards running around the house.
I don't want no more pets, and I'm not feeding them.
The cat would probably kill the lizards.
I have too many pets to feed from everybody else getting
That's
them.
fun to have pets, though. As long as you take good care of them yourself, don't make your mommy or anybody take care of it instead. That's what Wendy and Ronnie do. They like me to feed their dogs for them.
Well, Mom, I can't help it. I'm lazy.
Wendy said, I can't help it. I'm lazy. She's lazy.
Don't worry, I
love
fed the
the smell
dog
of
tonight,
dogs.
so he won't have to get
I
up.
such a beautiful, wonderful, good, clean porch. Now the porch smells like dog fur, and every time I have to wash it, it doesn't last much longer. Come this summer, I'm going to put me a new gate up, and I'm going to paint the porch red.
Hi, Rada So Vivor. Welcome.
So,
She'll be off the phone in a minute.
I called Zoya tonight, and I told her, I said, when she left, she got ready to get off, I said, Zoya, I should be ashamed. I said, the last time I talked to you, and John said, Grandma, why don't you ever call me? And she overlaughed, and she said, yeah, I know. She ice skates. Boy, she's getting really good.
Who is that?
John.
Okay. I just want to make sure who it is.
Yeah. So do y'all live just the two of you together with your pets?
Are they going to get on YouNow? Tell them about it. I don't think Stephanie knows.
Wendy wants to mention to you about YouNow later. She can do it.
Yeah, y'all can get on it
After I
and
get off,
watch Family, all of
I usually
us.
stay on only an hour. I've only done it 2 nights now, and about a couple months ago I did it, and I didn't really like to have to make a schedule to do it.
Is that Stephanie?
But it's okay, but it's not.
No, I love it.
I'm not used to it, but I do like singing if I just had a piano to play with. I better get back to it because they're wondering where I am. Yeah, okay.
They're listening.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Wendy wants to talk to your mom and dad, okay?
Yeah.
And you too. I love you. Have a good night's sleep.
I'll talk to him too. Hello.
Okay, I'm back. Thank y'all for being patient.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's almost past my bed. Oh, 4 little powerful doggo.
Yeah,
6
you should get on YouNow.
It must be
It's
Florida
really fun program to get
survivor.
on.
A Florida survivor.
Look,
Do you mean like in the
you want
hurricane?
to try it? But later.
We survived a tornado, but
Yeah,
your
you,
hurricane I
you're
think
more-
was even
you
worse.
get partnered.
We lost our house in
they
the
say
hurricane.
you get paid
I mean the
for it.
tornado, but we've got a rent to own now.
Oh, I know what the hell that is. But yeah, I love YouNow. You know.
Okay.
Mom's on there, and
Here's
I'm on
Rainier
there.
H. Welcome.
So we're having a fun time on it. I didn't know who that was a while ago
Ravedex.
that was calling. See, Atkins,
Okay, that's a new
Michael
name.
Atkins been calling us and
Nick.
hanging up.
Hello.
One of my stalkers.
Welcome.
So yeah.
Okay,
That's
since
who you
I had to
thought it
answer the
was,
phone to
or
my
I-
grandson, looks like I've got 1,
Well,
2,
you can-
3,
you can call
4,
us on
5
the
more.
Facebook.
Welcome.
You go and try it.
Okay, I was going to sing
You
one
should-
more
you should call
song.
me on
See if I can
Facebook,
have another
you know,
short story.
Yeah, I got the video part.
Any of you live in small towns?
Yeah, please, because
I grew up in a small
Well,
town
tell
and I
John I
moved
love
back
him.
here and then left and moved back again, and it's election time and you talk about some strange things that
well, what
I'm
about your
not
boyfriend?
big in politics, but
What about your boyfriend?
I want to get involved because of the veterans.
Oh, that's
We
sad.
need to give
I
our
know-
veterans
I
what
do.
they deserve for taking care of us in this country. It's about the
I
same
got
thing
one
as
too.
it's almost like going off to war, going into these school zones anymore, isn't it?
Be careful. Be careful.
I just pray
about
for
that
y'all to
because,
have to go through that.
because when I took money from people on the internet.
Oh, when
you
I
would
was
get
in
trouble
Florida,
for
I
it.
was
It's
in
called money laundering.
when the boys were little. I first went to Fort
You
Lauderdale.
can really get in trouble for that.
Let's see,
because
then I
that's what
went
happened
to,
me. I got, you know, if you take money from somebody.
Well,
that
there were
you
3
don't know,
places
they
I
can be
lived.
sued.
I can't
You
remember
see
what
I'm
the
saying? Be very careful.
last
Don't take
one
no more.
was.
Don't take no more. But
I think down in Florida was where
did you check it out first?
James D. Kennedy Church was, and that was a powerful
okay.
church.
Yeah,
My
I
mother
know-
used
I
to
know.
watch it on television, and my oldest son, he was
Just
only
make sure, though, because,
4 at
you
the
know,
time. He
money
chose the
laundering,
church. We were
money
looking for one to
laundering
go
is
to,
right
and oh, I loved it. They taught so much
Just be careful. There
For
are,
to
there are
teach a
cops
child
on
under the
internet
age
that
of
give you money,
2
and then later on they arrest you.
things that you would
Yeah,
never
that's
think that they would remember and stuff. It really they learned to believe in healing.
Yeah.
And when
Just
Spencer
make
was
sure.
about 4 and Kelly was 2, my
Sure,
4-year-old
what-
got
what- what-
a
what you're
strep
saying.
throat like I used to get when I was little. And being a doctor's daughter, I knew what to do, but I said, I'm going to have to
Yeah,
go to
but
work. I worked at a daycare. I
It
said,
could
I have
be
to go
my
to
brother
daycare and
doing
work.
it. It could be anybody
But
doing it.
I
You
mean,
know
I'll
what
have
I'm
to quit tomorrow just to go call in and say I'm going to take you to the doctor.
saying? Oh,
And he's
okay.
only 4 years old. And he looked up at me and
Yeah.
said, Mommy, you don't have to take me to the
Yeah,
doctor.
I make sure that,
Just
you
pray to
know,
God
I
and
have an
Jesus,
online
and I'll
thing,
get better.
you know, I talk
So
to him.
Kelly and I prayed over him, and he woke up the next
He
morning
wants
with
to
no
help me
fever.
with money, but I'm
and no
scared
sore
money,
throat at
you know,
all.
you know, I mean,
That really taught me how much
you
they
know,
were
he
learning
wants
just by going
buy
to
me a
children's
house
Sunday
and
school.
everything, So, you know. Mine is. Yeah, mine wouldn't buy me everything.
I like Florida, but I don't like living near the ocean. But we've had as much problems, like I said, with the tornado than people do with hurricanes and stuff. There's no guarantees that any place you live is going to be there's no perfect place on earth. It says in the Bible, in the end times, there will be all kinds of hurricanes, tornadoes, disasters,
No, it's not.
every kind of thing
No, I
you can
checked it out
imagine.
myself. I
And you
had
just
people
have to
check it out
pray
for
and
me.
trust the Lord
No,
to take
it's
care
real.
of you and your family and other people. Just
Well,
pray
you
for
believe
them.
it
We
when
had
you
a
come.
friend whose son a week ago hit some ice and hydroplaned and wrapped
Yeah,
his
he's
car
gonna
around a
check him
tree, and right now he's at the VA
I looked at everything.
hospital
I
in
looked
Lexington,
at
but he's going to go into VA hospital soon, probably indefinitely, because he's got stroke on one side now, and he had a bone go from his back through his skull. So we never
You know what
know
I'm saying?
when something could happen to us. We just have to pray. I just pray that he stays alive because I don't think he's ready to go to heaven. Or he's not ready, not saved. So I pray for Ron. God knows who he is. Pray for Ron McDowell.
I just gotta wait,
That the Lord will speak to him. And his mother was very courageous. She went in the hospital to see him, and she couldn't even say a word because if she got him the least bit disturbed, they said he could start getting excited, and it could make him. They took him off life support once, and then ended up putting him back on. So I haven't heard the last 2 days if he's on life support still or not, but I'm assuming he is. But that's sad. But we know that the Lord knows beforehand what's going to happen before we were even born. He knew the trials we were going to go through. He knew I'd be sitting right here tonight talking to you all. Isn't that interesting? Simple things like that. And that I could be looking at your all's faces and looking at your pictures and your names and just really enjoying talking to you. And if I can be of any help to you, as old as I am, I hope that I can be. I hope I don't say anything out of line. Just keep right on the subject. The one thing that I realize that a person can do, and I've been guilty of that, is idle talk. God doesn't like idle talk. He likes our talk to be yay, as my husband used to say to me, say yay or let it be yay or nay or nothing. And that's very simple but very hard to do sometimes. My dad used to say, if the phone rings and it's for you, that's when I lived at home, or my mother, he'd say, if you get on the phone and you can't say in 5 minutes what you need to say, then you don't need to be talking at all. And that's how he believed, and it was very good advice. I have 14, Ricky. Are you a military person? I have 25, hipster dad. Welcome.
You can say hello, PM me on my Facebook.
So, I guess 4 Little Powerful Doggo is a dog lover.
Stuff like that, you know. I don't have any money right now.
I used to be when I had dogs when I was growing up, but I think there's a time sometimes, like right now in our time life, we don't need them, but my daughter and her kids really like them.
Can you send the address on your Facebook?
They need to learn to feed them themselves, though. They can eat you out of house at home if you're not watchful. The reason I'm careful about them is because at my age, if they knock me down, I could be in danger because I've got osteoporosis. But the Lord's taking care of that with a product I drink every day too, a shake every morning. And sometimes every night. I should do it twice a day, but I don't always. It's not that I forget, I just don't want to waste it.
I got 2,000 likes last night. It's fun.
So it's about almost time for me to end the night, so I'm going to sing
you. No, Mom, you don't have to. I'm getting off the phone.
Well, I don't have to because of you getting off the phone. Okay, let me see.
Be careful on the internet, that's all I'm saying.
I must have laid my songbook down. Oh, it's over here, excuse me.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to sing. I know. One of my favorites, let me find it. It's near the front of the book.
Yeah, I know. I'm dating a rich person, so he's a millionaire. So, yeah, I'm dating a rich person.
Yeah. This is one of my very favorite songs. Every time that I sing this, I think it's like I place all of my prayer requests at the Lord's feet. But I think of the times that he went to the garden alone because his disciples, as he said sometimes, can't you even stay awake with me for an hour? 1 hour to pray. Think of how much, oh man, to look back after he had left the earth and sitting at the right hand of God, his Father, and think of the times that they missed by not giving 1 hour personally to go and sit with their Savior and pray. And I'm guilty of the same thing. I start a habit of being 1 hour at least. It says pray without ceasing, and I try to do that all day long. My thoughts are basically prayers, because I don't have that many friends I talk with. I don't get out that much. I need my van to be fixed, so I'm just sort of stuck. That's why when my daughter introduced me to this, I said, well, that helps me a little bit to be in contact with people when I can't drive any place, because I love to be out around people personally.
Not yet.
I was not like that growing up. I was a very shy person. God gave me a new personality, and
I know.
I'm glad.
It makes me angry. Yeah,
because
I'm
if
really
my
angry.
dream that I have will require
I
this
think
the new
it's-
personality where I can speak with people
They're
and not be
really
afraid.
looking for help.
I couldn't have done it if I had the old personality. I couldn't do any of this that I have. I've had to stand up and challenge some people, and I don't mean
But yeah, it's
people
the same.
because they're
trying to
mean or
steal my
anything.
time. They can't.
I mean stand up and challenge authorities, and that's what a lot of people are afraid to do. And sometimes it's all it takes is to let people show you that you, out of love, that you won't back down, especially if it has something to do with your own family. So I just trust that you all enjoyed the evening, enjoyed talking to you. And if there's anything you want to say real quickly before I leave, just feel free to go ahead and say it. I don't know how to chat right now. I could type you all some. If my daughter would stop talking to her relative and show me how to do it, how to type you a few messages. Dishon Long. Is it Long your last name? There were some Longs from this town when I grew up.
What is that
They were the
called?
optometrist family. Dishon Long.
No,
Dishon
okay.
Long. Okay. That's pretty.
Oh yeah. Cecile. I can't remember the name of that.
Hey,
It has a
Dishon
name
Long.
to it.
Yes. Okay.
Alexa. Yeah.
That's a
I'm gonna get
very
one.
pretty name. I always think it's neat when people can
$30?
really give their children names that aren't common, so they'll
Alright, I'm gonna
always
get one
be
then.
standing out.
Yeah, I sure will. I'm gonna start buying stuff from Amazon. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. I'll try to find something for John Outlet whenever I get
Okay.
my check.
All
Alright, I love y'all. Tell John I love him too.
let me sing the song I was
Love
going to
y'all.
tell you.
Alright.
I forgot already and closed the book up. I'm going to sing them their good night song.
Hold on. Well, you don't have to leave now, Mom.
Wendy,
Stay
it's
on here
after
much as you want.
9:30. I've got to.
I know, but you can stay as much as you want on you now.
I know I can. If you can show me how to talk to them, actually type them a message or something.
Okay, I'll
And
show
then
you.
I'll
Hold
then
on.
I'll sing the song.
Sorry, I had to.
I'll sing the song before they all go off, and then I'll type some messages. Okay?
He said, "Hey, hello, I'm tall."
Yeah, I already said Deshaun.
That was my cousin,
Oh, okay. Cousin? How about
Or-
sister-in-law?
sister-in-law. Sorry,
Yeah, sister-in-law.
man, I'm forgetful.
No, it's not forgetful. You just don't talk to each other that much.
Well, I can't remember who.
Okay, this is one of my favorite songs. This is one of the last songs that I sang to my husband before he died. I sang about an hour or two one night to him not before he died then, but he died later, about a year later. I come to the garden. Excuse me, I got to start
You're
off
6'4". Oh, that's nice.
I come to the garden alone.
I'm 5'4".
While the dew is still
How
on
tall are
the
you?
roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. It's out of tune. I wish I had a
Well,
piano.
I'm her daughter. I'm 5'4", but how tall are you, Mom?
5'8".
She's 5'8".
My sons were both six. One of the three sons, two of them were. One was 6'4.5", and one was 6'5". He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet.
That's
The
what she
birds
has,
hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me
Nice to know you.
within my heart is ringing. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. This last one, I can just visualize myself like we visualize our dreams. I could always visualize myself being in the garden with him,
He
and
said
then,
you sing very nice.
and then him saying what he says. I'd stay in the garden with him, though the night around me be falling. But he bids me go through the voice of woe. His voice to me is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
You need to clear up your throat.
No, it's not clearing up my throat, it's just getting a piano to sing it.
Yeah, you need a piano.
Accompany me. Hand me the drink over there, please. So, thank you all for listening. YouNow.
Six viewers. Say welcome, 6 viewers.
AbHoH, 2 AbHoH is watching. Welcome.
You don't want her to sing anything out of the hymn book. She's good at it.
Well, I could improve greatly. Maybe
I need to
someday,
practice myself.
Maybe someday in my vision I'll have someone playing the piano in the background. I have a minister's wife that could play the guitar, but I don't think she'd want to come over here just to play the guitar. She sings beautifully. She used to sing with a group of about 4 or 5 people.
You know people like you a lot, Mom. Yeah, one time she went, we don't know where it was, a long time ago. They wanted her in the movies. And she turned them down. Can you believe it? She turned the movie directors down that wanted her so badly to be in a scary movie. She would have been a millionaire by now.
It wasn't a scary movie.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was a basketball movie or something.
I don't remember.
I think it was a sports movie. My son, there's a wounded warrior later that died.
I got
he
mad.
He sat in the audience.
I said, take me, since my mom won't do it. And they said, no, we don't need you. And I was like, all upset. They wanted my mom more than me.
I just went and took her to audition. Just to sit in the audience. It was a horse racing movie, yes.
I was camera shy.
Famous horse race movie. And my son sat in the audience, and they wanted me to actually perform, do some kind of acting, but I don't know why they even got the idea I could do it, because I didn't say anything.
No, it was a scary movie. You said you don't like scary.
No, I don't like scary movies. It was a horse. If I knew the
I remember
name
it. It was a scary movie. It wasn't a horse movie.
Kelly would not have gone to a scary movie. I'm sorry. I don't want to argue about it. It was a horse movie of what state we're in. It was a horse movie.
Oh, I don't know. In Georgetown or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was mad because they wanted my mom more than me.
They were both mad because I wouldn't do it. I don't want to go off in the middle of nowhere just to try to be an actress. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with what God has me doing. But I'm not satisfied that I haven't done what He said to do, basically.
Looks like the YouNowers like you.
See, there's a painting for you right there.
Yeah, they didn't want me, but they wanted my mom. I said, Mom, are you crazy? You would have been a millionaire by now. She would have been. Yep.
It wouldn't have been satisfying to me, so I would have been one of those actors or actresses that got into something they wouldn't know how they could get out of it.
We would have had it made, but oh well.
I don't worry about having it made. We'll have it made when we get to heaven. We're down here waiting for... This isn't our home. Our home is waiting for us up there.
Well, at least she's not shy of the camera. She's
for MetLap 3R. I'm not shy of anything since I got out. God gave me my new personality.
I'm shy of the camera, Mom.
I told a few of them about the story of God giving me a new personality last night.
Are you going to read any more?
From shy to being not shy. Sometimes I used to say to my husband, do you think, Bobby, we could ask God to give me back my old personality where I was quiet?
Mom's never quiet now.
And he would laugh.
Enjoy her.
He said that's what he liked about me. I was so quiet. But the personality wasn't not being quiet. It was turning from an introvert to an extrovert to be a leader. I've yet to see that leadership. Well, no, I take that back. I owned a daycare when I was 19. 10 kids all by myself, and I should never have given up that job. They still have only one daycare in this county, and it isn't that great. But it's there. So I shouldn't have given up what I was made to be naturally. Kids love me.
Close.
I have to get close because of my bifocals. I'm going to go this way back here, okay?
Well, you need
Then I can
contact
see,
lenses.
then you can see no contacts would not make a difference. I had an operation I wasn't supposed to have, so I don't have my eyesight that I had. I was healed and went ahead and had the operation.
Yeah, she sure is, isn't she? I'm
What?
trying to help her get friends on YouNow because she gets lonely out here up in the hills.
I don't get lonely. I got too much to do. I'm busy.
Yes, you do, Mom.
I'm busy. I'm a people person. I need to be out where people are.
We live between two mountains, so we hardly get signal that great down here. Yeah. We live in an old cabin-looking thing, you know. We had to remodel it. It's an old tiny house. We can't hardly afford anything.
What it was,
so.
it was a Mennonite built, Amish Mennonite. The Mennonites in this county built them a little bit better than the county I bought it from. But it's a Mennonite built cabin, and it was only it was just framed in. So everything else had to be done. It had to be done by me or volunteers.
And ladybugs like it here, so they're crawling everywhere in this cabin.
Ladybugs are everywhere in this county. When I came back in '96, I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but the government had dropped tons of ladybugs on this county. I mean, they were in everybody's
Thank you.
houses.
She said I'm a good daughter to look after your mom. Yes, I do.
Yes, she helps me with my computer.
Sometimes I
wouldn't do
can't
anything.
sleep at night. I go check on her to see if she's breathing.
I know, and I'm a light sleeper, so I have to lay there, and I hear her door open, and I'll think, when's she going to say, Mom, Mom?
Are you okay?
And I say, I'm here.
I wake her up in the middle of the night.
No, usually I'm awake, and I'm waiting for her just to say those words, Mom.
Are you there?
And sometimes I'll lay there thinking, I'm going to pretend I'm asleep, so she'll just walk on, but she'll keep saying, Mom, Mom.
And then sometimes when I get up in the middle of the night, I run into the walls, almost knock my eye out.
That's because I arrange the cabin sometimes, and I put curtains up, and the way the dresser's facing, the end of it facing toward her room, if you don't know, don't
This
remember.
house, though, is tiny. You can hardly move around in here.
It was 24 by 14, if that tells you something. That's why you see coffee cups hanging from the ceiling and things like that.
Yeah, one of them almost dropped in my head. One time. Coffee mug.
If she was taller, they would hit her head more often, like they do mine.
Yeah, it's funny.
Show me a picture of you when you were
I
young.
live in a small room in here, so it feels like jail to me in my room.
Show me that picture when you were young with the flower over there.
What?
Over there.
No, I'm okay.
No, okay.
I don't want to get up.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get me some more coffee so I can be
So,
energized tonight.
I thought she was going to show me how I could actually talk to y'all, but I don't see it yet. Where is it? Show me how to do it. I can type it if you'll just get it
Oh,
set up.
hold on. I gotta teach her how to type.
No, you don't have to, I know how to type. Just put chat and everything. Put how I do it. I can type easily.
It's right here. Okay. Now you can type right there. Just don't press any keys.
Oh, do I have to say anything? Oh, let's see.
You know what they're saying?
What? Oh, you both are sweet. Thank you.
What do you want to say to them? Enter. You go here. You don't really have to type it, Mom. You can just speak through. They can hear you.
Oh, I didn't know you could hear me without me typing anything. Sorry.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, I'm not used to this.
You'll get used to it.
Well, I will if I stay in it. I won't be a
I'm
regular.
getting sleepy though. I stayed up too late watching YouNow all night long.
Stay up too late. She needs to get a regular scheduled bedtime.
Not really.
Her dad never scheduled a bedtime for any of us. If he didn't go to bed, we couldn't go to bed. If he didn't eat, we couldn't. If he sat down to eat, he wasn't there, we couldn't eat. So you can see how schedules are hard to get after so many years.
Yeah, if y'all want to watch me too, I do art on YouNow, so...
Yeah, she'll go in the other room and do that in a few minutes. And I'll have to get my
No, not
stuff.
now. Not, I already did it today.
Oh, you did?
My hand's worn out.
Okay, someone... See you now. Another new person?
Yeah, I do art. I'm an artist. Professional.
Now, why, Deshaun, did you say do you? I misunderstood.
Yes, I do art. You want to see some pictures? It's on my profile.
Oh, I used to do art, but I never did make it something, a hobby that I stuck with. I also should be a writer by now. I probably could have written many books, but I got married instead after I finished college. Mother said go to writing school after college. Of course, I got married, then that shot that idea. So I write newspaper articles for my local paper. People in the town say the paper's boring. They wish I'd write more often. But all it is full of gossip and political talk. It is sort of a boring paper. Oh yes, she would like to show you her art.
Right here.
Hey,
I
Luke.
did this one today. Here, Mom.
Glad to see you.
I did that one today. Now, can you see it? Oh, okay. You turn the heat on. Here's what I did. Yeah. My mom's got to turn the heater off. And here's what I did yesterday. Alright. They seen it.
Okay, she likes to do that. Maybe sometime I'll write a story that y'all might be interested in. I write stories that most of the time.
Yeah, you can fan me. My name up there. I'm up there, Wendy Panda Angelo. Just fan me. That's me up there on my mom's broadcast. It says Wendy Panda Angelo. You can fan me there. And watch me draw. I get on certain times. We both have our own broadcasting.
Oh, wow. Where's the...
There's me up there, Mom.
I know where you are. I'm just going up here.
No, don't touch.
Why not?
Because you don't know how to use it yet.
I sure do. I can move that little thing around.
No, you don't need to.
I want to talk.
You can. They can hear you.
But I want to go up to a certain person. Don't you have to do that?
No.
No?
No, they can. You just talk to whoever on there.
I mean, I can speak after they speak.
Okay, I'll draw a picture of Bigfoot.
It's been a long time, Luke, since I've been in New York City. That was interesting. I used to be a governess in New York City when I was 19.
You should see my Jesus one. I'll show you. Hold on.
I loved being a governess and traveling that way.
The YouNowers like you a lot, Mom.
Yeah, baby, I took care of 4 girls in New York City for an elderly father.
Here, I'll show this real quick.
And then I took care of 2 boys in Virginia. The mother died of cancer, and they live with their grandparents and dad.
Here, you show them.
What?
This is what I've done right here.
You have to hold them up. I can't see it.
And I framed it. Can you turn that light off or something? It's blurring it. There you go. Can you see it? That's what I painted of Jesus. You're too close, Mom. It's too much light in here. Can you move that light in the back? Here's what I've done. Yeah. Alright. Now you can get back to talking, Mom.
I can't sit very much longer. It's hurting my leg.
They just want to see what I can do. But it's your broadcast. I don't want to get in it.
I'm not going to stay on very much longer. The chairs hurt my legs. It's about like sitting in your car all the time. My daughter has a sports car, and it hurts my legs to get in and out of it.
Well, I like my sports car.
She likes her sports car.
It got damaged.
I like my van that I traveled all the way across the United States in. But
oh, you got more fans, Mom. Great.
Oh, he likes your art, too. Said that's nice.
Yeah, fan me up, too. Wendy Panda Angelo up there. You can see me.
I think she likes your art. She's saying she's a fan of your art.
Yeah.
I believe that's what Deshaun's saying.
A+. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Where are you reading?
Right there. He put a bunch of A+.
Oh, wow. Neat. That's, I think that's a lady, Deshaun. I think that's one her grandmother likes to sing.
Oh, I'm worn out.
Thank you. Do y'all have any, are either of you an artist or into sports or anything like that?
You can't draw at all? You can if you put your mind to it. Right, Will?
Well, if you really have an interest in it, you can do it. You can get an art
It doesn't
course.
matter if you're a guy or girl.
She didn't. She took a art. She didn't take an art course, but she started it once, but she quit it though. She was a natural at art, and all of her brothers are naturals.
Well, come fix my car.
Oh wow! I need mine fixed. I'm trying my best to find
The
someone
guy
to do
that
it.
took it out of the ditch jerked my rear end clear off almost of my car, but I still can drive it.
Mine's electrical in some way because the battery kept dying, and then a neighbor said just leave the battery cable off and then plug it in when you have to go because if I didn't take the battery cable off, the key wouldn't come out. So then it just suddenly died.
I can draw, paint, do anything to do with art. I can make wood stuff too. I do woodworking. It was right after the tornado I started doing it. I never done it before, right? Well, remember? I never done woodworking before.
All right. Oh, she did some wonderful. No, it was before the tornado.
No, it was after the tornado hit and when I started making things.
You're talking about the little wooden rocker.
Yes, I'd never done woodworking in my life.
No, you hadn't done it in your life, but the veteran made the first patterns for you.
I know,
that
Mom,
you made.
Get the story right.
I got the story right. He cut out the first patterns
No,
for you.
I.
You got the pattern, and then you asked him to cut it out for you, and then we started doing it. He was already gone though. He had moved on to another place.
All right. What do you say?
Yeah, thanks. At least it's a thought that counts. Thank you a lot, Luke.
They're calling you Grandma Sharp now. Dee is back. Okay, hi Dee. How are you doing? Boy, you got a lot of friends already, Mom.
You woob. You woob. Oh, Dee. Oh, her name's Dee, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She lost her son. We were in a tornado, so she wants to get to know people, and stuff. And ooh, I want to do that too.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go out west. I'll go with you.
When we lived in Montana, we lived in a log house that was built by the same guy that had done Old Yellowstone Lodge, and we found out later he was not supposed to do any other buildings. They had made an agreement, he would never do any lodge buildings or anything out like that, and he built it for a doctor and his family. And after he did that, he had to promise he would never do it again.
Oh, I got to sign it.
But I enjoyed living out west. And I was going to tell you about the gold, though. My two older boys then were about, I think, 12 and 10. And they walked down the road one day, and at the very end of the road, past the I can't think of the name of the swimming place it was. There was a lodge that had a swimming. Oh, Hot Springs. There's a Hot Springs place.
You got 3 metal detectors? Ooh, I'm saving my money up for one. I'm going to get one. I'm going to go gold hunting down at Mom's land.
Oh, that'd be a good place to find. You know what was so funny once?
I love metal detectors.
My little youngest child was 3 years old, a little boy, and his dad bought a metal detector. And we went on the beach, and he started we started first looking for things in the backyard. We lived in an old house. And he started looking for things out there. And Matthew would walk over somewhere in the yard. All he noticed was his dad would take this little metal detector and put it on the ground and then pick out things. He went around the yard, and I'm not kidding you. He took his little shovel and dug in the yard, and he would come up with more treasures than my husband would find with a metal detector. And we went to the beach when we went to Florida, and he did the same thing. He'd walk along the beach and just stop all of a sudden and start digging, and he would find old play cars and all kinds of stuff.
What part of Florida was it?
I forget. We were traveling
Don't
on
remember.
vacation that time. We were on vacation that time.
Well, I went to an old house in Georgetown, and I found a big giant piece of gold when I was digging, when I had a metal detector. It was huge too, and it got stolen, but oh well. You know how things happen.
Then the next one she had, unfortunately, we went to Hawaii to join my son. I worked a job and got enough money to go and ride on the Navy ship with him for a week. We met him in Hawaii. We flew over there. We met him there and rode back to California. And she bought a metal detector to take to Hawaii. Well, we got to Hawaii. She got so excited running into the beach to swim. She laid her metal detector down and turned around to run out of up on the beach, and the wave had come in and washed right over her metal detector.
Almost ruined it.
It almost ruined it. It ruined it, made her so disappointed. I couldn't get her to go to one of the islands with me. That ruined my trip from up to Hawaii after I'd been there once in my life.
Well, then when I got into the house to dry it off, it started working a little bit, and then when I packed everything in my bags and we went back to Kentucky, I guess, is that what it was? Or yeah, we went back to Kentucky, and I was looking at a map, and me and my brother were, and I was looking up, and we were talking about something. I laid my bag down, and a thief came and ran and took my bag and my metal detector and everything down the road.
I forgot about that. Oh man,
I was so mad. That was like $600 worth of stuff, and they ran off with it, and we chased after them and couldn't get them. I'm like, you darn thieves! I mean, they took my jewelry.
All about that.
They took my jewelry, everything in that little bag.
My goodness, I forgot.
It was horrible. Just think, if you go on a trip, do not look at something. Leave your bag laying; they'll run off with it.
Which part, Luke?
Oh gosh, you work in Disney? Disney? What?
No, Dis Bay, wherever that is.
He works in Disney. Disneyland?
Oh, Disney, right. I see now.
Wow. I would love to go there.
Okay, yeah. We lived, after the tornado, we moved to an hour and a half from Louisville. That's where the Amish Mennonites lived. Oh. And she put one of her daughters in the Amish Mennonite school, and it was a mistake because I'd already taught her more myself than she learned there. She got behind a little bit by doing that. I don't like big cities. I did my student teaching in Louisville.
I want to move to a big city. I hate the country.
Louisville's got too much traffic. But it's close to my sister in Indiana, though.
Oh, yeah. I bet it was. Disney World, the great movie ride. Are you into movies or something? Do you work with the movies? I don't quite understand what you're saying. Oh, it's no more. All right. Yeah, I know how that is. Yes. It's sad, yeah.
Have they always lived in Louisville, Luke? Do they like the state? Yeah, the first time I went to Disney World with my children, my youngest boy was 3 years old, and we stood in line to go on the, let's see, what was it called?
Well, she's trying to get used to the computer, remembers everybody's names. She's new. Her name's Dee.
Okay. Oh, I see, okay. Anyway, we went down the roller coaster, a monstrous roller coaster, and he was sound asleep. I had him in my arms at 3 years old. I got in the roller coaster, fastened him up and everything, leaned him against me, and we got all the way up to the very highest point, and he was still asleep. When they started down, man, I thought it would scare him to death, and he just went, whee! Never even knew what he was on until he started down there.
He has property, and he practices being a redneck up there. I bet that's fun. We live in Kentucky, so we know how rednecks are. I bet it's fun. I'd love to get behind a truck and go ear tubing behind a truck. That'd be fun. That's what rednecks do.
Oh, someone recently. I read somewhere someone recently did that, and the truck stopped and they crashed right into it.
Ew.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
You have to really be careful. I used to do dangerous things like that when I was a tomboy.
Really? You have to be in the hills like me and my mom, then you'll be a redneck.
That's not quite what makes you a redneck.
We still live in the same area the tornado hit, and we're still here on this land when it happened. And it scares me half to death. I have nightmares.
Well, we left for 3 years because she didn't like being on the tornado area. You just have to get over that. My tornado story is...
Oh, really? I bet it's fun. Take me a ride. They hook the inner tubes to a truck. He's a hillbilly stuck in a
That's
redneck's body.
New York City.
What do rednecks listen to? I always wonder what they listen to.
They put out their Confederate flags like down the road. The neighbor does, and lets it go until it's just torn to pieces by the rain and stuff.
I don't really know.
And the American flags, that's a disgrace to do that to American flag.
Oh,
That's
well.
rednecks. See, what do they do?
He knows what to do because he wants to be one.
They call their mom and dad old man and old woman. That's what I never could get used to. My dad loved.
Oh, you want to get a tattoo? I already have a tattoo. My mom got mad at me for getting one.
Well, for what you got, not getting one. Well, either way.
What, rednecks?
Or
It'd be fun to be a redneck
Well,
every now and then. Good night.
Well, a lot of rednecks don't like to go to war and stuff like that and fight for their country and things. But I'm trying to think of one of the main characteristics. Rednecks are, well,
They're fun. I haven't been around one in a long time, so I don't.
I can't even remember because when you're from a county like I am, I mean, everybody is okay.
Yeah. All right. Good night. Good night. You woob. I guess that's how you say it.
She said her name was, what was it a while ago?
D.
D. Yeah.
D.
Good night, D.
Good night, D.
Have a good night. Sweet dreams.
I'll try and remember your name. I might forget the next morning, but it's all right.
I agree with you there. That's about me, Official Michael, 37. We have a group of people here in this county that...
She said I love you.
That don't...
Tell her you love her too.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you for joining in.
Okay. I'm teaching
I'm glad you had a wonderful grandma.
Okay, I'll write it down. Okay, she wants me to remember her name.
Well, they used to do that when I was growing up, Luke. They had moonshine stills and people tried to hunt them down all the time. I think there might have been one on my land before I moved here for years and years ago.
Okay, I wrote it down, D. Don't worry, I wrote it down so we can remember it.
I'm getting sleepy just sitting here watching. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime.
Hey, Mom, you're enjoying it. You have 7
No,
viewers, too.
Wendy.
Make them happy.
It is past my bedtime, though. They can go to bed and come back tomorrow. My Uncle Roy used to run all the cars and farm tractors.
Moonshine?
Yes, that's liquor.
I love you, too.
Homemade alcohol.
You can come to my show sometimes, too, if you want to. Wendy Panda Angelo. I'll try to show myself. I'm camera shy.
Okay. Michael says go to bed.
No, he thought you were going to bed. No, she's not going to bed too quite yet.
I'm going to bed pretty quickly because I have to get up and do a lot of things in here tomorrow before.
But she'll be back on tomorrow. I'll try to get her on. She loves doing it.
Because her day's short on Thursdays.
She loves making y'all happy.
Thanks for being on tonight. I enjoyed all of you.
It's so nice to get to know you, Dee, and everybody else.
All of you just about are new names entirely.
Oh, you got 2 fat cats? How fat are they? Did you feed them too much?
Hers is getting, my granddaughter's is getting overweight. It sneaks in the house as soon as I open the door to get fed, and then her puppy comes in behind it.
He told you to get some sleep.
And the 2 big ones.
You're all right. She does need some sleep.
Outside.
She's 72 years old, y'all. She's 72 years old. Remember her age.
I wish I could get to bed at 9 at night. My best friend died 2 years ago, and she went to bed every night at 8 o'clock and said, don't anybody call her before 6 a.m. So I never did.
Don't worry. I do check on my mom for y'all. Yeah, when you get animals fixed, they do get fat afterwards, yes. They really do.
We feed that cat so much it doesn't catch mice anymore, I don't think.
Well, because it's not fixed.
No, because it's not.
Mm-hmm. It's a boy.
It is overweight, but still it does.
Mm-hmm. He tries to be a pig sometimes.
Well, he asked
now,
her.
Ross, he's a garbage. He tears up the garbage, but he's not a cat. He's a dog. my mom had to go out there and clean it up because I couldn't bend over and clean it up. Yeah, ours do too. We only got one. I'm allergic to them.
Yeah, they probably do, but... Okay, we enjoyed talking to you. Y'all have a good night.
We'll
God
be back,
bless you.
If I
Whenever
can get up.
can.
If I can get up tomorrow.
Okay, get up.
Yeah. I've been sleeping like
tomorrow is
crazy.
your Thursday. Day of being going
Okay,
to town.
don't forget, fan her up.
Now I gotta go
Fan Mom up so you can watch her later, okay?
I gotta go get my package in the mail tomorrow at the post office.
Fan her up. Don't forget.
Oh, they won't
And we'll
forget.
fan you back.
I'll try to learn some more songs and get better. I don't know if I can get better, but if I had... Maybe somehow I can get some... When I get my... I'm supposed to have a DVD player and a CD player combination in the mail waiting for me, I think, at the post office tomorrow. Then I can take some of my CDs and learn some songs.
Yeah, she'll sing all the time for y'all.
And then I can play them low. My friend told me that for $10 you can buy songs that Jimmy Swaggart makes, but only with the music, not the singing in the background.
Don't forget to fan her up so y'all can watch her again.
Oh, Dallas just came on.
Squeeze box.
Hi, Dallas.
Squeeze box.
Are you a military person?
Your broadcast's more fun.
Oh, are you talking about the accordion? My grandmother could play accordion and piano. Well, her sister could. I love accordions. There's a lady at church that came last week, and she plays the accordion. It was beautiful.
Did
Oh, yeah. I know my dad played one of those once. You put it in your, let's see, you take your finger and flip it, and it makes tunes. Is that, I know. I always wondered how they kept from getting their teeth broken out. What I always wanted to play was a harmonica. You can take that anywhere you go.
I tried
Or the
that.
jaw harp you can, too.
I couldn't remember the notes. My brain would go wacko, and I can't remember anything. I tried musical stuff.
What's your background, Dallas? What do you like? Dallas must be shy about like I used to be.
Sometimes they're shy. You just have to make them come and talk to you. Everybody quiet all of a sudden? Are you watching a Valentine movie?
I think they're expecting me. I'm going to go to bed. Okay. Okay.
Well,
good night, y'all. Have
She'll
a good
see y'all
evening.
tomorrow night around maybe 6 or 7 o'clock at night. Every day around 7 maybe.
No, let's see. Tomorrow night's Thursday. Tomorrow's church night.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow's church night.
It's a long day, remember, and
She
visitation.
won't be on tomorrow. Because we got to go visit some people.
And go to church and all that.
But
So
she'll be
enjoy.
on. She'll be on maybe tomorrow, maybe not.
No,
but
probably not.
maybe the
not,
next day.
Not late, because we
She'll
don't
be
get
on the
back.
next
We don't
day.
get back from church till 10:30, 10 or 10:30.
But she'll be on when she can. I'll remind her.
Enjoy your night. Thanks for giving me your time. I love y'all. Have a good night.
And don't forget to say your prayers.